Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mike's Plus One Plus One, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffing.com, as well as Twitch subscribers and Patreon supporters just like yourself. I'm Evan Irwin. We get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts. I get them on screen here, MTG Nerd Girl.
Hey guys, welcome back.
And Ruben Bressler.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, it's going wonderfully. And now to introduce our guest, Nerd Girl, take it away.
All right, well, this week we have Ashlen Rose is a voice actor, content creator, and perhaps best known for her spectacular magic cosplay, Commander content, D&D live play shows, and of course, her iconic voice and upbeat personality. Please welcome Ashlen Rose.
Yay.
Hello. Hi, thanks for the intro. I appreciate it.
Now,
thanks for having me.
Now in a VTuber form, which you have to tell us about right now.
Yes, hello. This is the first time probably anyone has seen me in my VTuber, but this is me, and this is my room that I'm still moving into. Got to get some magic stuff, but we got like the Squid Game and some anime stuff. It's getting there.
Very cool, very cool. And is that just something you've been starting doing now, or something you want to get into for a while?
It's something I've been wanting to get into for a while, but just haven't had the opportunity to. So now that I do, I'm going to be getting into it. I don't know if I'll be streaming right away, but I do see myself posting more YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Interesting. Is there a particular reason that you wanted to move more towards the YouTuber platform?
I think because I am not great with having a consistent schedule, and I know for streaming, it's really important to have a very consistent, reliable schedule to keep up with your community and everything, and that's just not something I can do or prioritize right now. So figured videos would be a nice happy medium while I try things out.
Okay. And then is there a reason for the jump to VTuber other than, you just think they look cool?
I have always wanted to be an anime person, and so here I am. And I don't like putting on makeup and getting ready. So this is a nice way to get around that.
Fair
I suppose, yeah, you can make a lot more content if there's a lot less stress attached to actually getting started.
Exactly.
Yeah, so to get us, I guess, officially started here, if you missed our pre-show, subscribers to this channel get access to our NSFW version early. But with that, we have our outside assistants. We've chosen a question from the comments and or sometimes the Discord of Magic Mike's to ask a question to our guest, and that person gets $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffing.com. Ruben, what's this week's outside assistance?
Well, this week we have, longtime friend of the show, MTG Pack Foils, had a question that he posed in the official Magic Mike's Discord, and he asked, if you were to make yourself into a commander card, what would that look like?
If I was to make myself into a commander card, what would that look like? Oh my. I would definitely be an Eldrazi. Probably a Titan. I would be the first Eldrazi Planeswalker commander card.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
Wow.
I feel like my +1 would probably be add colorless mana to add an additional mana if you're casting a colorless spell or something. And I'm not a game designer, so this is gonna be broken, so why not be broken?
Sure.
Maybe like a -3 for give target creature Annihilator or something. And my ultimate would be just you win the game.
Sure.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if this one says
if
it's
you
done.
make it hard enough to get to, then that's plenty good.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You jump through all the hoops. You're the winner. Well, we do appreciate MTG Pack Foils for being a part of the show. You can too, of course, by hitting us up with your questions for next week's guest, and you can be a part of that +1+1. So, Ashlen, I guess at this point, kind of sort of, if you can give it a little lowdown sort of what your origin story is in terms of how you got to where you are today in terms of content in the Magic community, just the show notes, the short notes.
Yeah,
Cliff notes
absolutely. So my origin story is that I started playing Magic in, I always get the date, like it's not going to be the exact date, but 2011-ish, 2012. It was when Duels of the Planeswalker came out on Xbox 360. And I started playing that game, and that's the first time I ever heard of Magic. It was through that. And so I played that and really liked it. And so from there, I started playing the physical version. My partner had played back in like their college days, and so they got their cards together and we would play every weekend and found a shop and started going there, and it kind of just snowballed from there into really loving Magic and everything about it. I started going to GPs back when those were a thing, and playing in the standard events, and yeah.
And cosplay too, right?
Yeah, actually, that was the other thing that got me really into it. Back in NorCal, there used to be these things called NorCal cosplay gatherings. And so it was an opportunity for cosplayers to get together and meet up with photographers and take a bunch of pictures at a cool location. And when I did that, that's how I met Sprinkle, who was like the godmother of cosplay. And I had messaged her because I had never met her before. And I was like, hey, I'm making a Soren. Would you want to cosplay with me at this event? And she was so sweet and so down for it. And that was the first time I ever took cosplay photos for Magic. And it was really fun. And it made me really, really love and want to do more Magic cosplays.
Were you doing cosplay before Magic, or was this your start as well?
That's a good question. Yes, I was doing cosplay before, but still very babyish at the time. I think my first ever cosplay was Mercenary Katarina from League of Legends, and then Hinata from Naruto, and then I did Soren.
Very cool. Now, you and I moved to Southern California right about the same time, but you had already had a head start with voice acting and voiceover work. Talk to me about how you got into that.
So for voice acting, I've like I said, I've always wanted to be an anime. I've always wanted to be an anime figurine person, and voice acting was just something that I really liked and wanted to do more of. So I got started in San Francisco taking classes at a place called Voice One, and then from there I went to like an intro class or something, and it was like creating characters, and it's like, you pay to go see what voice acting's about. And so they have you come up to a microphone and read a script and be a character. Like, it's very on the spot, very improv-y, and I was so nervous. And so I had been streaming. Sorry, I'm going to be all over the place with the story, but before this, I had been streaming a lot and playing Final Fantasy VII, and I would voice all the characters. The character voice that I did for the cat character is what I did for this read. And so I got up there nervously, did the read. The director interacted with me and had me like answer things in character. And then afterwards, they came up to me and gave me their card and said, I have work you can do. And so from there, it kind of helped solidify me working in voice acting. And we've been working together for years since then. And he's the one who helped me move to LA and got me settled and being able to work here, and made it a lot easier. And so that's kind of how I got into voice acting and continue to do it today.
Wow.
What types of things have you voice acted that maybe some of our audience might know of?
I would say most of the stuff I do, I have a teeny tiny voice. So a lot of the stuff I do is for children's shows or games. So if you have a kid or you just want to check it out, I voice Mora Mermaid in a show called Enchantimals on YouTube. And I'm with a bunch of other amazing talent, and we have our animal besties, and I'm a mermaid. And aside from that, it's a bunch of games for mobile called Princess Libby, and I'm Princess Libby in them.
Wow.
That's super cool. Yeah. And so now that you've kind of been in that industry for a while, I always like to ask if you could go back and sort of tell yourself something now, what advice would you give yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I would tell myself to have more fun and to not perfectionism is the bane of everything, right? And it's very easy to try to be a perfectionist when it comes to the freelance business model, because sometimes like for auditions, you could spend hours working on an audition, and that really isn't a great use of your time. And so really just having fun and not stressing so much about how perfect an audition sounds, and just getting them out there is way more important, and getting the experience than trying to make everything perfect, because no one expects perfection.
And so
now
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Oh, all right. I will go.
You go.
In Magic, I suppose you're best known for commander content. these days, but I'm not sure it was always like that. What is your favorite way to play Magic, and what's your favorite type of Magic content to make?
Okay. So my favorite type of way to play Magic has definitely changed over the years. I think starting out, well into my Magic foray, I really enjoyed Modern. That was probably my favorite format. And this is like before Modern Horizons 2 came out, mind you, or Modern Horizons 1. And so that was my all-time favorite just because of the power level. It was just like the perfect combination for me and what I like to do. And now it's definitely Commander. There's just so much you can do with Commander. I really enjoy the way you can build things based off how you feel, what you like, and there's just so much versatility.
Now, it sounds like you went from a very competitive mindset to a very casual mindset. Is that correct?
That's a really good, yes, absolutely. Which has been interesting because that makes me somewhat competitive in Commander, which I've had to tone down a lot.
And in what ways?
I think just in how I evaluate other players, because in Modern it's 1v1, right? And in Commander you have 4 different players, so you can't be as cutthroat because there's 3 other people who will work together to try to take you out. So you have to play the political game as well, and you have to kind of, I feel like it's more of a 3D chess type situation than 1v1 sometimes.
Yeah. There's like a prisoner's dilemma element to every game of Commander for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now that we went through the pandemic era and all that means, and for example, remember GPs, as we discussed, when those were still around, were those great? And so we are going to have an actual factual pro tour here in a couple weeks, which is great. Are you excited to try to see some of these older paper formats come back into action?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a cosplayer for Magic, going to events was a big part of what I love doing and my way to interact with the community and like be a part of Magic. And so I'm really happy to see more events like this come back and really, really miss them.
Are you able to make it to MTG Philly, the Magic Con?
No, I'm not going to make it to that one. I'm going to be in Japan, unfortunately, for somewhat. I know, unfortunately, but fortunately.
Definitely, fortunately. I would too take Japan.
Did you plan this before you knew about Philly, or was it just Japan was just too tempting to pass up?
I think we had planned it before, but I think even if it was the other way around, I'd probably just windmill slam Japan.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did want to ask, you mentioned your cosplay costumes, and you started with Soren. Do you want to give us a little list of the different types of characters you've played in the Magic world before?
Ooh. You mean like as cosplays?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can remember them all. So we have Soren, Nissa. Who else? I've worn Sprinkles Chandra. I've done Burning Tree Emissary, Bloodbraid Elf. Who else?
This one right here.
Oh yeah, Beckett Brass.
Like pictures of you in those characters are like hitting my mind every time. You're like, oh yeah, you were that character. Oh, I remember seeing you in the Bloodbraid Elf thing. That was awesome.
Yeah. I think I did what was her name? She was from the one where the Weatherlight is around. Dominaria. She's the little.
Oh, Jorah or no?
Dwarf.
Oh, Tiana.
Tiana. Yeah, because that's who I was for the.
For the Weatherlight D&D game. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun times.
That's right. I forgot about that one. With the overalls.
And Tassiger. Yes, with the overalls.
Tassiger. Nice. Oh, that's right, because you had the bananas. I remember that one now. Yeah, that's a good one.
It was great. I have like pictures on my phone of like Marshall kneeling and holding the bananas and so many other of the creators.
That's great.
For future blackmail, of course.
Right.
And I know you probably can't spoil it, but are you working on anything now?
Not right now. I've been eyeing stuff as we see previews, but I haven't worked on anything yet.
Okay.
What kind of, for those who would be interested in cosplay, I know you kind of mentioned, before it was like baby's first cosplay, how would you recommend people get into that type of thing if they're interested?
Oh, wow. Nowadays, there's so much information out there. Like, when people say Google it, it's not being like, I don't mean that in like a rude way. It's just, if you Google anything for cosplay, or do like let's say you wanted to cosplay a cat from I don't know. Let's say you wanted to cosplay a magic character. You just type in their name, like Tassiger cosplay tutorial or anything like that, and you will get so many resources because everyone is sharing stuff on Pinterest, Instagram. Instagram's a great place to find cosplayers to follow and get information from. If I'm talking directly to someone and they want a list right now, I would say check out Kamumi Cosplay. That's Kaumi, I believe. And then Lightning Cosplay is another cosplayer. Those two have really, they've really helped transform the entire community because they've created books and patterns and so many resources that a lot of people still use today. And there's so many tutorials on YouTube. It's really, your options are endless.
You talked a little bit earlier about how you loved Modern before the Modern Horizons sets. And that sort of, there's that sort of nostalgic element. Have you tried Pioneer, and have you found it to be like that, or is it not like that?
I haven't tried Pioneer, but I have watched Pioneer, and I was at one of the PTs for Pioneer actually in Barcelona before the pandemic, and it's really cool, and I definitely wanted to try it. I think that at the time that it came out, I was already getting really into Commander, and so I can't do more than one format at a time. It's just too much to keep track of for me. So sure. I chose Commander.
What do you think about competitive EDH?
I mean, I don't think I really have an opinion aside from it's cool. I've never played like CEDH level decks, and I don't know if I'd know what to do if I did. But it's just not for me, which is surprising because I come from a competitive Modern. But
right.
I think it's just it's too fast for me.
Right. So your sweet spot is like an 8.5.
Yeah,
definitely like 8.5.
Yeah.
Everyone's deck's a 7. Come on now.
Everyone's deck's a 7. But I think that I think I'm similar because I have a weird play group, I guess, where, you know, some of the people I play with are like former SCG Open champions and like old Pro Tour players and people who've learned Magic in the last 3 months and just bought a pre-con. And that's the group I play with. And it's really interesting trying to find that balance, making sure that everyone is having a good time at the table. I mean, I have decks that are all the way across the spectrum, except for I don't have a CEDH deck, but I have decks that are 9s through 2s, right? Just to mess around with and make sure that I'm playing with the right type of people, or the right type of decks, not the right type of people.
Yeah. I get what you mean. What are all your thoughts on competitive CEDH? Do any of you play?
So I've played in games that I would call CEDH. I don't think that we had fully powered CEDH decks, but we had like decks that even if you sat down to a competitive game of Commander, people would be like, all right, guy, chill out. And I had a good time with it. It does stretch a different muscle.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like if you're playing poker with your friends at home, that's a different vibe than if you're playing poker in a tournament with people you don't know. Like there's definitely a breadth. It does scratch that competitive Magic itch for me, the gladiatorial combat, the reason why 12-year-old Ruben was interested in Magic in the first place. But it's not what I'd play Magic to do now. It's really weird to play a competitive game of Magic for me now.
I like more casual, low-powered decks. I'm a competitive player, but I'm a competitive limited player, and I tend to like formats that are low-powered. I really like just like chucking trash at each other back and forth. So my favorite Commander games are like level 5, and you just kind of like fight it out, and that's how I like to play Magic.
I love that.
Yeah, you do have like crazy, silly fun, like bad rare decks and stuff, which are always interesting. But yeah, I'm way too competitive, and I would scare everybody off with CEDH anyway. So,
Aww.
turn two
find
combo.
your people. All you have to do is find your people, and then you'll be fine.
Then we'll kill each other in turn 3s and 4s. It'll be great.
And then you get more games in. That's fine.
Get the reps in. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and some people love that. Like they just love getting so many reps in. I've sat down and played with Dee and Joe and Zell, and that's how they are. They love just the more reps, the better. They don't want to sit and play one long game. Whereas I'm like, I want to play a long game and see all the shenanigans happen.
Yeah, so how about digital Magic? Do you play a lot of Magic Online or Magic Arena?
I do not. I have not opened the client since closed beta.
Wow.
Whoa.
So, but you started with duels. Did you sort of, when duels ended, was that sort of the end of playing online for you?
I mean, I used to play Magic Online when I streamed, and so there was that. I have a very limited attention span, and so I have to focus it on specific things, and online Magic, especially Arena, is one of those things where I feel like I would lose so much time on it if I allowed myself.
It's good to have the boundaries up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, don't want to go over there because I'll stay there forever.
Also, I know there's constructed on it, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know MTG Nerd Girl, you play more often, I'm assuming, on Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a limited player. It's actually very stressful for me to play limited. So whenever I would play or stream online, I felt a lot of stress when it came to like trying to do limited.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different game. Like it's limited versus constructed. Like you can say Pioneer, Modern, Standard. I think that even though they're different formats, they're the same game. But this is like Monopoly versus like Life. You don't have to like them both, and they can be very stressful. And they both use different skill sets, and some people just don't enjoy that form of the game. So that definitely makes a ton of sense. It's very stressful, but if you ever did decide to go back to it, I think constructed players on the average have higher average concurrent viewership, and I think it's got a lot more content creators in that realm. So I think you'd be well placed if you don't like limited.
Well, that's good to know.
Now, there's I literally just blanked. You'll have to edit this, Rich. Oh my god, I started a sentence and then I blanked. Okay. Oh, I got it. I remembered it. Okay. So another feature of Magic Arena is that there are voices associated with some of the characters. If you had your druthers, I know you've dressed up as a lot of characters, but if you could voice one of the characters, I'm sure you have, but have you thought about which one you'd like to voice?
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually looked into what you needed to do to voice on Arena, and they are Union, which is great. Like, Union is important, but I am not Union yet. So, but if I got to, let's say dream scenario, I was voicing a character, I would definitely want to be, I think, any of the like goblins, like Squee, any of the little creatures. I love doing little creature voices and weird voices. That's what brings me joy. So I would have a lot of fun being any of those, or like any of the sounds the companions make.
Right. That would be excellent. Yeah. By the time we go back to Lorwyn, you'll be Union, and then you can be one of the Kithkin leaders.
Yes, there we go. You heard it here.
There it is.
I'm ready for Lorwyn, please and thank you. That was a wonderful set.
So real quick, I have a question, and we can edit this out, so feel free to tell me no.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite voice? Like, if you envision a Squee or a little critter in Magic, could you give us a sample? And again, if you are uncomfortable with that, we'll just edit that straight out.
Oh no, I love that. Let me get a drink of water super quick and I can do that.
Ooh,
that'd be great. I would love to hear it.
That's so much fun. Yeah, getting to hear.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, getting to hear the new voice, bits with every new set release is actually really cool. And they've lessened on the animations, at least the voice stuff is still there, and that's something you still look forward to for all the Planeswalkers and stuff. So that is very, very cool. And then once we get through this. We'll turn the
I
corner.
like how my
here.
character like goes to sleep when I move away.
Yeah, sometimes the VTuber, the whatever it's called, the avatar will like slump over like it's an inanimated mannequin, but yours just sort of went.
Nap time.
Yeah.
New technology.
All right, now I have to think of what would Squeeze say.
What would Squeeze say?
I'm so excited.
I love little things like this. Thank you.
Hey Gerard, keep your hands off my toy.
All right, let's go. So it'd be like, "Hey Gerard, keep your hands off my toy."
That's perfect.
That's
Let me make
amazing.
sure that actually.
Cut
oh,
it, print.
that actually clipped in my recording. So if you want me to, I can do it again.
That's okay. It sounded really cool.
Yeah,
No,
pick
it
up
sounded good
one
to me.
more. No, we're good.
Yeah, you're right. Now, can we, in this time, a little range? Can we go down?
Yeah.
I get 3 takes with different emotions.
Right.
How do you feel about Gerard? How do you
Right.
feel about the toy?
You're
Right.
afraid to say things to him. You know, let's go.
Man.
Yeah. Perfect.
Gerard.
So much fun.
That was so cute.
Isn't that
Voice
cool?
acting's
die.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you need any voices for any of your alerts, let me know.
There you go. Exactly.
For hire. There you go. All right. So as we finish here with our little show here, we turn the corner to the fundamental turn. These are a series of questions that we ideally just get the top answer off the top of your head. Whatever comes to you first, you just pop, and we'll just bop right through these questions before you know it. And
Okay,
a lot of fun.
I'm going to do my best.
A lot of fun, we promise. So what's your favorite thing about Magic?
The art. My
Old,
favorite thing about Magic is the art.
old border or new border?
Ooh, new border.
Favorite set?
Favorite set, Zendikar.
Favorite mechanic?
Zendikar Rising, all of those. Favorite mechanic, Annihilator.
Favorite deck?
My favorite deck is probably going to be Eldrazi Green. I forgot what it was called, but it was back in Standard. It had Prime Time in it and Summoning Trap into Eldrazi.
Very nice. Card you wish you never got rid of?
Ooh, card I wish I never got rid of. I don't, because I hoard all of my
Keep
cards.
all the cards. They never
That's
leave
valid.
you. That's totally cool. I get that.
My precious.
Best advice you repeat?
Best advice I repeat is perfection. It's the one about perfection, because it's something I've struggled with for a lot of my life. It's just, don't worry about being perfect. No one's perfect, and when you're able to let go of that, it's just, you're so much more free to be you.
Nice. What people get wrong about you?
People get wrong. They assume that I am some tiny person, and I am one of the tallest people in the Magic community.
So tall. What people get right about you?
That I am creative and fun, and that I play very stompy decks.
Nice. What makes you happy?
Laughter, cute things, and colorful things, and plants and animals.
Failure means?
Failure means learning something new.
And success means?
Oh gosh. Success means that you're happy with what you've done.
Very nice. Very nice. And that ends the fundamental turn and another episode of Magic Mike's +1+1. And finally, Ashlen, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You can find me on Twitter at Ashlen Rose, and you can find me on Instagram as rar it's Ashlen. And then you can also find my demos and everything on my website, which is ashlenrose.com.
Very, very
Oh,
cool.
and I have a YouTube, which is also just Ashlen Rose.
All the outlets. Very,
Yes.
very nice. And thanks for joining us here to discuss all things magic. Thank you, Nerd Girl.
Thanks for having me, guys. That was awesome. See you next week.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you. It's great to see you guys.
And thank you, Ashlen.
Thank all of you.
Whee!
It was great to see you.
As we move here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, my co-host, MTG Nerd Girl and Ruben Bressler, our special guest, Ashlen Rose. You guys for watching and listening. I hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next time, same place, same time, for another episode of Magic Mics +1+1. Good night, everybody.